Hey guys, it's Nina, and today we're going to be playing a game of Bookish Never Have I Ever. So Never Have I Ever is a pretty popular game. I know I played it a lot growing up, and basically Kevin over at the Irish Reader took this game and brought it to BookTube. So I'm going to be going through my Bookish Never Have I Evers, and this is really cool because it's interactive, so you guys can play along and like put down your fingers for everything. So I guess I should go through the rules for those of you who haven't played Never Have I Ever before, but basically I'm going to give you 6 things that I have never done before that relate to books, and then if you have done those things, you put down your finger. So that would be how you play in a group setting. And I was tagged to do this by Alyssa over at Pucks and Paperbacks. She's amazing. I will leave her channel down below because you guys should totally check her out. So first, never have I ever bought multiple copies of the same book before. This is something that I picture a lot of people on BookTube doing. I'm not sure if a lot of people actually do it or not, but I've seen a lot of people who say they have an edition of a book and they buy a different one because it's their favorite series and they need it in all editions or in multiple editions, or say you have part of your series in paperback and hardback and then they rebuy it in hardback so they all match. This is something that I've never done before. I don't have the funds to do that, that's just expensive, and I have no need or want to because I'd rather use my money to buy new books instead of buying the same editions of multiple books. And I get it that some people want multiple copies of their favorite books, but I just don't see a purpose for it, so never have I ever done that. Never have I ever been to a signing of an author that I was a fan of. The only actual book signing that I've ever been to in my life was for Sandy Hall's release party for A Little Something Different, but I'm not counting that because she was someone in my personal life who I knew who then became an author, and this was her first book launch and I went to that and got it signed, but it wasn't like I knew of her as only an author and went because I was a fan of hers and wanted to get something signed. That's something that I've never done. I've never been to BEA or Book Hall or gotten any of my books signed by some of my favorite authors. I do own a few signed books that I've gotten like straight from Barnes & Noble, like bought them signed, but that's just not the same thing. It's a goal of mine. I need to go to more signings, but they're just never in my area. And I'm also really bad at like checking for them, but yeah, I've never done that. Never have I ever done the rainbow bookshelf. This is something that I feel like not a lot of people do, but whenever I see it, it makes such an impression that I feel like more people have done it than have actually done it. This is especially something that I see on Instagram all the time, and it's so beautiful and it's so impressive, but I just have never attempted it before, and I probably never will, because I need all of my series to be together on a shelf. Like, it would just break my heart to have like one book from a series over here and another over there. Like, it would just mess with my brain too much, but I still admire it so much, so I'm so conflicted, but it's never gonna happen for me. Never have I ever read a book in one sitting. This is something that is always a tag question, and I always have to cheat for it because I've never actually read a book in one sitting. I've always had to get up to do something, whether it be go to the bathroom, get a snack, or just do other things and move around. I haven't even done it for something as small as a graphic novel, like even reading a comic. I need to get up at some point. Partly because I'm a slow reader, and then partly because I have a very short attention span, and I just have never done it. I just don't understand how people can read an entire book without moving. How? Like, is this just an expression? Do people just say they read it in one sitting when they actually did get up at some point, but they read it in a day? Like, I don't know. Please tell me I'm not the only one who has never done this before. Never have I ever read a Shakespeare play on my own, and by on my own I mean outside of school. I have actually only read 2 Shakespeare plays in my entire life. I've read Romeo and Juliet and Macbeth, both for school and with a class and with a teacher like helping me translate it. But I do own a few Shakespeare plays, but I've never picked them up and read them because they're so intimidating. I know I could do it if I had like the no fear Shakespeare ones, but I need to get more of those because I've just never read them. I've gone and seen his plays like performed, but it's another thing entirely to sit down and read them. And maybe I'll do it when I'm much older and don't have to think about school at all because it's just too much like mental work for me. Again, I commend anyone who reads Shakespeare for fun because my reading level is just not there. And lastly, never have I ever bought an entire series all at once. I am not a person who can go out and say buy an entire trilogy as like a boxed set, or just buy the entire trilogy or series of something that I haven't started before. Or even if I've read the first book and I really liked it, I can't go out and buy books 2 and 3 until I read book 2 then I go buy book 3, and then I read it. Like, I can't mass buy books like that. It just doesn't make sense to my brain. I just don't want to spend the money on a trilogy that I'm not sure if I'm gonna like or not. Like, what happens if I read the first book and I don't really like it and I don't want to continue, but I've already bought the second and third books? Like, that just bothers me. I just don't have the money for it. I just don't have the mindset to do that. And again, no shame to people who have. Like, I get it. Like, some people have the money for it and they like having everything at once, and like, I get that, but that's just never something that I am going to do. So those were my bookish Never Have I Evers. Let me know down below how many fingers you have left, assuming you started at 6, I guess. 5 is a nicer number, but I started at 6 because that's what I came up with. So I didn't really think through who I was gonna tag. So I'm going to be tagging my Biblio Squad girls, so Grace over at G-Swizzle Books, Kathleen over at ForTheLoveOfBooks, Jules over at Jules Reads, and I'm also going to tag Rebecca over at Eilony Lunar and Abigail D. Y'all have been tagged, but then also, if any of you guys want to do this, I tag you. This was such a fun video to come up with my responses for, and you know, talk about booktube culture a little bit. It was fun. So that is it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe, and I will see you guys later with another video. Bye!